Okay, so for section 11.1, the law of attachment says, from a true conditional, if P then Q, in a statement or given information P, you can conclude Q. And I'm going to give you a shorthand notation way of understanding that here. Yeah. So, you're going to get a first statement. That first statement is going to say, if P, then Q. Obviously, P and Q can be anything. The second statement is not going to be a conditional. It's not going to be an if-then. It's going to state P. Okay? When that's the case, you can conclude Q. Okay? The next one says, and this is a little bit trickier, you guys. You've got two if-then statements now. You've got if P then Q, and if Q then R. Then you can conclude if P then R. Okay, and I'll explain why here in a second.
Because if P is Q and Q is R, then it's...
So first statement, if Q, or if P then Q. Second statement, if Q then R. Okay, and the reason this is called the law of transitivity is what letter shows up twice?
Q.
Q does. It shows up in the implication of the first statement and the proposition of the second statement. So what you can do is cancel them out. And what are you left with? What can you conclude? Yeah, you can conclude what's left. If P, then R. Okay? Remember, this is all just logical thinking. Okay? And we can put it in lots of examples. I am recording it. The law of detachment. The symbols for the law of detachment are what I already had up there. It's going to look like if P, then Q. That's hard to read. The second statement is just going to be P. It will just restate the if part. What can you conclude?
Q.
Okay, so you can conclude Q. Okay, let's look at the example. If x equals 10, then y equals 6. Look at the second statement. X equals 10.
Y equals 6.
Then you can conclude that y equals 6. Okay?
Well, it's just a 1-2 class.
You guys are a live studio audience right now, so let's keep that in mind. Okay? So, restated P, you conclude Q. Alright? Last one. Last one. The law of transitivity. You're going to get an if-then statement. If P, then Q. Next one is going to have to be if Q, then R. I'm going to be consistent. X would work. Okay? Haven, what can you conclude? Conclude. Okay? So look at our example. If x equals 10, then y equals 6. If y equals 6, then z equals 21. What do we cross out?
The y.
The y equals 6, and you conclude what's left. If x equals 10, then z equals 21. Okay? The law of detachment. Oh.